Celebrate Kamala Harris, the first Black woman vice president in history, General Lloyd Austin, the first Black Secretary of Defense, and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. History makers who reflect President Biden's commitment to Black America, delivering real results for us. The lowest Black unemployment rate in history, Black child poverty cut in half, record numbers of new Black entrepreneurs, and over $130 billion in student debt forgiven. But there's more to do, including protecting the right to vote and advancing opportunities for all of us to keep making history.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Art tells a story, your story, and inspires others in your community to do the same. This Black History Month, AARP is celebrating the undeniable impact and contributions of Black art and artists everywhere. We're thrilled to celebrate these creators over 50. Through their work and persistence, they make society a better place by bringing us all closer together. Learn more at aarp.org/Black community.
Tune in to Eagle Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eagle Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
Want to be heard on Word?
Yes, this is Miss Renee King out of Philadelphia.
Dial 215-634-8065 to join the conversation. Outside of Philly, dial 1-866-361-0900. First-time caller? Great. We would love to hear from you. Word is the voice of the African American community, so make yours heard. Please limit calls to once per day. Spread the word and tell a friend to tune in and join the conversation. We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Here we are today, Tuesday, February 20th. Woo, woo. You know, every day I keep saying, and you all hear me say it every day, that I just can't believe here we are in February and I feel like spring is tomorrow. You know, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining because I'm so grateful for every single second, minute, moment, hour, and day that he gives us. So I'm not complaining, just acknowledging, just merely acknowledging. In any case, family, I hope that you're having a beautiful start to your week. I truly do. I really do. I hope you had an exceptional day. I had one of those days where, I felt like Schlep Rock. You remember Schlep Rock from the Flintstones? I felt like Schlep Rock today. If it could happen, it did. If I could break it, I did. It was just one of those days, but hey, it was just my turn. That's all. It was just my turn. So, family, continuing our Black History Month celebration, today's Black History celebratory moment is about the National Equal Rights League. That's right. That's right. Founded in 1864 in Syracuse, New York, by Frederick Douglass, John Mercer Langston, and Henry Highland Garnett, among other prominent leaders, the National Equal Rights League pushed for full American citizenship of all Black men and women, as well as voting rights for Black men as compensation for those who served during the Revolutionary and Civil Wars. The organization continued through 1921. Family, that is today's Black History celebratory moment. Yes, it is. Happy birthday to all of our love bugs celebrating a birthday on today. Happy birthday to each and every one of you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, I tell you all the time that I believe we should all be celebrated. We should all be spoiled absolutely rotten. I know you're saying, Carol, come on. Well, yes, I do. I do. I just think we should. To our family members who are joining us today with heavy hearts or dimly lit lights, I just want you to know that on behalf of your entire tribe and village, you are not alone. You hear me? I'm sending you love and hugs. I mean, in swarms, oodles of love and hugs, because you need to know that you're not alone, that you've got us. We are right here, right here. So, family, you know what I like to do as we get started. I like to know that you are there. I like to know that you are ready to join the conversation. So please, 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 let me know. Let us know. Let Nick and I know if you are here and ready, if you're joining us. You can do so by giving us a call, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I tell you all the time that Nick and I, we love the love any way you care to share it. So send us some love. Send us some love. Some of our family members are checking in. Brother Nasir is checking in, and he's sending peace and blessings to everybody. As always, I love that. I love that. Hey, Nasir, see, I was just about to say, I want a full rundown of the show last night. I didn't even realize it was in Philadelphia. I thought it was in upstate New Jersey. But Nasir shares that October London was on fire. Okay, he's going to be at the Roots picnic this year. I did not know that. Oh, that's good to know. How are the Shinzellas and Jay? I want to know everything, Nasir. Come on now, I want a full rundown. And Eric is checking in, but thank you for that. Eric, just Rick, that is. He shares, happy to see you this evening. He just read that the gospel matriarch, Ederline DeBarge, recently passed away. Yes, at the age of 88. Yes. Prayers for the entire family. You are so right. You are so right. And Ederline DeBarge is the mother of our beloved DeBarge family. And she did pass away most recently. She really did. She did. She was beautiful. Such a beautiful woman. And we send our prayers and condolences to the DeBarge family. Thank you for that, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you, family, for keeping me on top of things, because I need some help every now and again. I do. I can't remember everything. I do want to share with you that I heard from Dylan. You remember our Tune Up Tuesdays, right? I heard from Dylan Swain. And let me see if I can get this together, because he sent a photo. Excuse me. He shares that he turned green last week and that his graduation will take place on May 4th. Let's see. Can I get that? There he is. There's our beloved Dylan Swain, the Swain train. So Dylan asked me to share his love with everybody. He said he misses everybody and he cannot wait to come back to talk with us and share with us about all that is taking place with him and all that he's doing. So Dylan shares that he turned green last week. Congrats to you, Dylan, and that he will graduate on May 4th. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. Like, wow. Wow. Oh, OMG. Family, I do have some things to share with you. You know I do. You know that I do. So I've been sharing this with you. I know that you know that February is a month of love. Yes. Well, Word has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love Word collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote bag. That's right. And guess what? If you are a member, then you can get these brand new items for 50% off in our Word shop. That's right. So, family, join or renew right now to get the discount code via email. Simply go to wordradio.com/I love Word so you can start shopping and show your love for your favorite radio station. Family, that's wordradio.com/ILUVWURD. That's right. That's right. I also want to share with you that February is not just Black History Month. It's also American Heart Month. So join Word President and CEO Sarah M. Lomax for Heart to Heart, Real Talk on Cardiovascular Health. A special on-air symposium tomorrow, Wednesday, February 21st, from 4 to 6 p.m. This will be an expansive discussion about all matters of the heart with medical experts who will discuss the connection between hypertension, diabetes, stroke, and heart disease, and how to enhance your heart health through diet, exercise, and stress reduction. The talk will also explore the emotional side of the heart, love, compassion, grief, and relationships. So, family, tune in tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. You really don't want to miss this life-saving, life-affirming conversation about that. All right. Family, one more thing I want to put in your pocket. In celebration of Black History Month, WURD, in partnership with the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, invites you to join us on Wednesday, February 21st, that is tomorrow, at 6:30 p.m. for a special film screening of Origin, the highly acclaimed film written and directed by Academy Award and Golden Globe nominee Ava DuVernay. The film illustrates the powerful journey of author and Pulitzer Prize winner Isabel Wilkerson, based on her best-selling book, The Origins of Our Discontents. This screening will include a talkback following the film, hosted by Evening Word's host, James Peterson. Join us at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, 824 West Lancaster Avenue. That's 824 West Lancaster Avenue, Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, just minutes outside of Philadelphia, family. As a guest of Word, you will receive a special discount price of just $10. Visit wordradio.com/origin for more information. That's ORIGIN. Listen to me. What's going on with my mouth tonight? So if you cannot make the screening at 6 p.m., we will air the podcast Twice as Good, featuring Word President and CEO Sarah Lomax and URL Media co-founder Mitra Kalita, diving into the significance of this powerful film. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Malcolm, you have a copy of that book? Oh, that's awesome. I want to know all about it. You know I do. You know I do. You know I do. I do want to share that Malcolm, I didn't even see it. He shares that he's watching and listening from West Mount Airy. What? Oh, no. He's stuck trying to get home right now. I hope you make it home safely. My prayers are with you. Walt Reader Jr., hi there. Our beloved is just checking in, unwinding from a hectic day at the office, and shares that he is now listening to his favorite show. Well, fellas, listen. I want to talk with you about something. There's a video that I want to share with you. In this hour, we're going to have an open forum tonight. Family, for those of you who are watching, listening, and just, stopping on by, This hour is yours. This is open tonight. I want to talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. But in the event you say, well, Carol, I can't think of anything, I have something to talk about. I have a video clip to show you. But before I do that, I'm going to go to our phone lines to check in. One of our family members is checking in via the phone. Hello there, and thank you so much for calling.
Well, it's all about love. One love, one love, one love.
Hi, Tyrone.
I caught every one of those hugs and kisses and whatever you sent. I caught every one of them.
Good. I'm so glad you did.
Now I got my grandbaby in the car. I got my sister-in-law and my baby. You know, we all coming from seeing One Love. And I just wanted to give a great shout out to my seniors. You know, the movie was jam-packed. Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. They were saying that the brother needs to get some kind of nomination for something, Oscar or something. But they said he did the do. I was too busy, you know, setting up the lunch and everything. Because, you know, after the movie, I take them across the street to Barbers Hall for lunch. So
sure.
I was too busy putting that together. I didn't get a chance to check out the movie. But they said it was awesome.
Wait, Tyrone, which movie was this?
One Love, Bob Marley.
I cannot wait to see that. Okay, I cannot wait. I want to see that movie badly. I cannot wait to see that movie. I mean, the trailer looks so good.
Well, my man, Brother Nick, said his mother or grandmother wanted to go see it with him, and I told him to let me know. Then I'll take you and the guest and him and his grandma, and we can just go have a good time. Then we'll go across the street to Barbers Hall.
Well, I love it. I love it. I love your updates. You hear me? I so do love your updates.
Well, look, I just wanted you to know that I caught everything you sent. And every time you send stuff, I catch it.
You know, that's a hug to my heart.
I just really wanted to thank all of my elders. You know what? Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, family is something. And when you got our elders who are right there moving, and doing things with you, you know, you just got a lot. You got a lot of history. You got a lot of memories. You got a lot of blueprints because our elders, they have already went through a lot that folks are going to go through. And when we sit there, and it's just a love fest. It's a love fest, and that's why I thank you when we share with one another. And I just cannot underestimate the importance of who you are, what you do, and why you need to do it, because we are really going through some trying times. And I'm telling you, we need love. We need love to ease the pain and suffering that many of us are going through. So I thank you for that, my sis.
Thank you.
Keep getting out the love. Miss Reed, you want to say?
I am sending you two oodles more of love. You hear me? And hugs.
Yes. Well, you know we love you, and you know we ride with you every time you're on the line. So keep feeding us. Love you.
I love y'all more. I love y'all more. Mwah, 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 mwah. Family, hey there, I'm talking to you. If you have just joined us, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So if you, again, just joined us, I was sharing that in this hour, it's all about you. I want to talk about whatever it is you want to discuss. I do have a suggestion. I do have something about which we can talk, but it's been a while since I checked in with you to find out what's on your heart, what's on your mind, and what you want to share. What do you want to share? I'm so ready and open and willing. I want to hear what you want to share with me tonight. Family, if you want to call, I want you to know that you can feel free to do so. You can dial 215-634-8065, or you can even call toll free 1-866-361-0900. You can call just to share some love if you want to do that too. Don't you be shy. Don't you be shy. When we come back, I'm going to go back to our socials, and I have a video clip to share with you that I want your opinion on. Okay? Yeah. Stay with us, family. We'll be right back.
February is not just Black History Month. It's also American Heart Month. Did you know that heart disease is the #1 killer of all Americans? Join Word Radio President and CEO Sarah M. Lomax for Heart to Heart, Real Talk on Cardiovascular Health, a special on-air symposium Wednesday, February 21st from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We will have an expansive discussion about all matters of the heart with medical experts who will discuss the connection between hypertension, diabetes, stroke, and heart disease, and how to enhance your heart health through diet, exercise, and stress reduction. We will also be exploring the emotional side of the heart: love, compassion, grief, and relationships. Tune in on Wednesday, February 21st from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You won't want to miss this life-saving, life-affirming conversation. For more information, go to wordradio.com. Brought to you by Penn Medicine and Keystone First.
For more than a decade, Comcast has been committed to bridging the digital divide in Philadelphia and across the country. From connecting people to the internet to opening doors for the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, and storytellers, they are helping to create a future that benefits generations to come. Now, Comcast is expanding their efforts through Project Up, their comprehensive initiative to help build a future of unlimited possibilities. Backed by a $1 billion commitment to reach tens of millions of people over the next decade, Comcast is working to ensure all Philadelphians have the skills, resources, and opportunities they need to participate and excel in an increasingly digital world. This includes partnering with community experts to build a network of digital navigators, trusted individuals who help build awareness around initiatives like the government's Affordable Connectivity Program, and teach critical digital skills to get more people online. Project Up, building a future of unlimited possibilities. Learn more at comcast.com/Project Up.
Through Project Up, Comcast is committing $1 billion to build a future of unlimited possibilities.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a 4Word member with the annual membership price of just $90, or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a 4Word member, sign up, family member, or a friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your 4Word membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
And we are back. Family, welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Here we are, February 20th. We're in the midst of Black History Month. Okay. We are celebrating, continuing our celebration. I shared a Black History Month tidbit earlier today, and I'm sharing that. I'm saying that because I have a video clip that I want to share with you, and I want to talk with you about it. Before we do that, though, Nasir, in response to the question that I had about October London show last night, I was asking, I want to know about everybody. How was October? How was Jay Brown, that is? How were the Shandellas? And he shared that the girls opened the show and Jay Brown was killing it too. The girls are his background singers. I love it. I love it. So you had a good time. Nasir, let me tell you something. I just love your life. I'm living vicariously through you. Okay. Miss Audrey is joining us. Hi, beloved. Hey, beautiful. She sends greetings to everyone. She shares that she's wearing her green in May. Prayers, Dylan, that you will continue enriching the lives of our service men and women. Thank you so much, Miss Audrey. We've got one of the girls. And my family, Thurston Kinsey, is joining us, and he shares always. Well, I love you too. Always, always, always. Harold is joining us too. Good evening. Good evening, Harold. Good evening. And Nasir, you saw the movie too? Heavens to Murgatroyd. Nasir saw the movie. And he said it was a great movie. It was a great movie and it was well done. Our beloved Elizabeth is joining us. Elizabeth Webb McLaughlin. She shared, you were at Wilson's. Oh, thank you. She hung out with us, with me at Wilson's, me and the band over the weekend. I'm so glad you're joining us. Thank you so much. She sends peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you as well, Queen. And welcome to the family. Gary Bryant is checking in. And I'm happy to see you too, Gary. Happy to see you too. And Eric is telling me that he wants to see me perform with Elliot Yamin. I'm telling you, planted the seed, so we'll see what we can make happen. All right, family. This video I want to share with you is about a young woman who has a company. She sells skin bleaching products. I won't say any more than that. I'm going to ask for your undivided attention because I really want to know what you think and how you feel. Here's the video.
Tell me why you started to bleach your skin.
It's like you growing up in school, you have mainly guys making fun of your skin color and calling you charcoal, calling you dark. So growing up, you just start to feel like, oh, okay, no one likes me because of my skin color. Like, okay, I see. So that kind of does something to your head, you feel me? And also we have social media. They do praise lighter skinned women, Latinas, whatever, pale skinned women. So that kind of makes you feel like you're not desired, you feel me? So, and that's why I started bleaching my skin. That's why I started skin lightening because of it, you know? And you know, people that do buy my stuff, like, they do tell me that it's helping them feel more confident. And I know it's kind of sad, but it's like, that's the society we live in now.
So when people buy your stuff, can you talk your business and what it is that you sell?
I sell skin bleaching cream. Pretty controversial, I know, but I do have negative comments. People saying you hate yourself, you wish you were white, this and that, you're a follower, like, just a lot of stuff, but I don't really listen to it. I really don't care. I guess how society sees dark women, like we're basically the losing team. Like, who wants to be on the losing team? I felt like lighter skinned women, they were more desired and they get away with more and they have more privileges than I did. And also, I also thought that, personally, I looked prettier lighter. And for me, I honestly I don't think it's a big deal because I feel like people want to be darker and people want to be lighter. So I don't see why it's such a taboo. I'm not ashamed of it because I kind of see the hypocrisy in it.
Well, family, what do you think about that? I am anxious to hear your comments. I'd really like to know what you think and how you feel about that conversation, about what was just shared with you. Feel free to give me a call. Please give Nick and I a call, 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0937. 900. Thank you to Niall for sharing that clip with me today. When he shared it, I immediately felt like, okay, this is a conversation that we need to have. I know we talk about color, we talk about colorism, we talk about it so much, and we talk about our babies. But when I saw, okay, so let me just say this. I typically see these conversations take place with, in our adult community, but not in our young adult community. That was the first time I had seen that interaction. And to hear the young lady share that she started a company that sells skin bleaching products and that she herself bleaches her skin. So I want to know, do you feel that it is simply a matter of her having, well, do you think she's right or wrong? Do you feel that she has some self-hate going on? Do you feel, and I'm playing devil's advocate because I'm giving you some things to think about and some things about which we can talk. And I know we talk all the time about the privileges that one can have with lighter skin. So I'm just curious to know what you think and how you feel. Harry is sharing that. Hello, he's sharing some love with everybody. Good evening. Gary shares, wow. Wow. Harry shares real rap. Harry Wims shares real rap. Harry, what do you mean? I want to know. I really want to know what you think and how you feel, family. For this hour, like I said, I'm inviting you to talk about whatever it is you want to share, because we've not done that in quite some time. But when I saw that clip that Niall shared with me, I said, well, you know what? This might be something to talk about.
Hey, Carol, do you mind if I jump into this conversation here?
I welcome you to this conversation, Nick.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, it's such a nuanced thing. There's going to be people out there who hate it. There's going to be people who go, well, what's the problem? I don't see the problem. I certainly, I'm not going to change anybody's mind here. I just know how I feel about it. And I kind of look at it. I used to have a much harder stance on it. Just because I thought, oh, well, that's got to be somebody who doesn't love themselves. They don't love how their skin looks. But I don't think that's quite the right way to look at it. And while there's a lot of reasons why somebody would look at it that way, obviously we as African Americans, having gone through slavery, we were kind of taught inadvertently and sometimes right there to our faces that black skin, black hair, black features are not desirable. They're not pretty and they're not attractive. And though that has begun to change, it's been changing slowly but surely for a while. There's still people today who feel like, I don't like the way my hair looks. I don't like the way my skin looks. I wish I was a bit lighter. And to that woman's credit, she's absolutely right. I mean, if you get on social media, you're not going to see a whole lot of very dark-skinned women who are being praised.
True.
You might find some dark-skinned women who've gotten a lot of success, who are great business women and this and that, but it always seems like aesthetically they're not chosen. Aesthetically, they're not favored. We all can agree Viola Davis is a fantastic actress, right? But you don't see as many men out there who are black, white, whatever, who are going, man, I really want a Viola Davis in my life, right? And that's not to say that she's not beautiful or anything like that, but dark skin and darker features or African features, I should say, they're just not presented as admirable. But I will say that the woman did bring up a good point. I mean, you could say the same way that a person who's dark skinned wants to get lighter, you have white people out there who want to tan. You have Asian people out there who want to tan. You have Hispanic people out there who want to tan. They want to get not too dark, but they want to get darker. They want to get a little bit of color in there. And so that's the nuanced area that I look at it from. The same way I used to look at women who wear wigs and get contacts, a black woman who gets a blonde wig and wears blue eye contacts. I go, oh, well, that person does it. But the older I get, the more I realize, listen, some people, that's just how they feel comfortable. That's how they want to present to the world. And you can't really say much to them, because all that you can hope is that they still love who they are on the inside. And, even though you may change the outside, it ultimately comes down to, do you love yourself when nobody else is looking at you? And if you don't, then that's a problem. But the changing the appearance, everybody kind of wants to stand out and look a little different these days. So that part I don't mind.
And I understand wanting to look a little different, but you said something that I find, well, everything that you said was of interest. But when you said, as long as you love yourself on the inside, I don't know how much this young lady loves herself on the inside if she's not loving herself on the outside. To want to make this change, the change to this degree. Now, listen, it's okay. Like, I wear braids, and I wear my hair straight, or what. You make different changes, you do different things, but I'm not. And I'm only saying this about myself because I can't speak about another person. But I'm making this reference because I love us. I love the different shades of us. I love everything about us. I think y'all hear me say it all the time, family. I think we're beautiful. I think we are magnificent and majestic. I do. Every single shade of us. You hear me? From the lightest to the darkest. And I think that's the beauty of us. So, and to that point, I mean, I've been called white girl for the majority of my life. You all hear me. Some of you have even talked to me about how I speak properly, and about my accent and what have you. I've been teased about that all my life. But guess what? I love me. I love me. I love me on the outside. I love me on the inside. Now, don't misunderstand me. You catch me in a good conversation, and I'll tell you about some things that I would love to be different with me on the outside. But at my core, I love me. You know what I'm saying? I love me. And I feel hurt for this baby. I feel sad for this baby. I feel so hurt for her because I just feel like she wasn't loved on enough, that she did not have individuals in her life to tell her enough how beautiful she is. That's my own personal opinion. In order for her to want to bleach her skin, and I get that I know she shared that, in school and coming from other people, she's been criticized, and she said for having darker skin. Well, it works on the other side too.
I think that you're certainly right too. And I mean, since we're going off of what she shared, I mean, the language that she uses, she says that she feels like she's not on a winning team as far as just skin color. I mean, it's like, well, what are you talking about? There is no team.
I know.
There's just you. It's in her mind, from bullying, or just from what she's seen. Clearly, she doesn't love having dark skin herself, and she feels like the only way that she can be attractive, or one of the ways she can be more attractive, is by bleaching her skin or lightening her skin.
But it makes me ask, where are her people? Where is her family? Where is her mother, her grandmother, her father, her aunts, uncles, cousins? Somebody. I feel badly for this baby, because I know she spoke a lot. I believe she said about school. I will play it again though too. So just for clarity, but I just feel so badly for her. I mean, she feels really strongly enough that she started a company to sell skin bleaching products. I'm going to go to our socials for a moment. Nick, please stay with me. But I'm going to share. Nasir shares she has low self-esteem. Hopefully she finds her way to the blackness side. And she's so young. Exactly. He asks the same thing I asked. Where are her parents? Malcolm shares, this has always been an issue in our community. It has. Gary shares, I'm sorry. Our black is beautiful. Our beloved Joanne, hi, beautiful. Joanne Kemp, she shares, she admitted herself. She said, it's sad when you're young, you get bullied for many things, weight, height, intelligence, etc. She needs people to help her. Therapy, maybe. I think she definitely does at this point, needs therapy. She does. Malcolm shares that we're going back to the brown paper bag test. It's horrible. Miss Julie Audrey Ward Carnegie shares, seriously, women enhance the size of lips and hips. Women and men lighten their skin. Who are they trying to impress? Is it much like Kenneth and Mamie Clark? The significance of the doll test, brown versus bored. It's just, I don't know, family. There are a couple of dark-skinned models who show their beauty on TikTok. This is from Malcolm. There are models all over the internet who display their beauty. I want to know where this baby's family, where her tribe is. I want to know where they are. Family, listen, it's time for us to take just a short commercial break, but I want to know what you think and how you feel. Please continue to join the conversation. You can do so by giving us a call, or you can post on our socials. However you do it, we welcome you to the conversation. But stay with us, because after this commercial break, we're coming right back.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
LIHEAP grants through PGW are available, and 1 in 3 households in Philadelphia are eligible to receive up to a $1,000 grant to pay for their natural gas heating bill this winter. PGW has made it easier than ever to see if you're eligible and to apply. Simply text MONEY to 77037, call 215-235-1000, or visit pgworks.com/LIHEAP. PGW, helping ease minds this winter.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. We're back. Welcome back. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. So we are talking in this hour. It's an open forum. We are talking about, quite honestly, whatever you want to discuss. A few moments ago, though, I shared a video and opened the conversation about color. There's a young lady that shares that she started a company, selling skin bleaching products, and she herself uses them, and it just hurt to see it. So I wanted to share it with you to find out your opinion, to find out what you think and how you feel. Before I go back to our socials, I'm going to go to our phone lines because James is waiting to join the conversation. He's joining us on line 1. Hey there, James. Welcome to the conversation, and thank you for calling.
I'd like to say, first of all, good evening, Miss Carol.
Good evening.
Where are the parents, like you said, Miss Carol? Where are the parents? I mean, for this child to come to a conclusion, start the company, quote unquote, bleaching her skin at such a young age. She had to be influenced with the parents. This is real. It's serious. And on the other hand, we have to look at it like this is nothing new. Bleaching the skin is the only way to get ahead to some. And it's something wrong mentally. Influence is a major part. I love you all. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I'm going to go to our socials, and then I think I'm going to share it again so that we all can digest, because I know some of us were caught off guard a moment ago when someone asked me to share it again. Harry shares, I'm a dark-skinned brother, and when I was younger, I felt the same way. Everyone wanted a light boyfriend until I got older and stayed in the gym. And now they say you're chocolate and sexy. Okay, well, good for you, Harry. Good for you. Okay? Are you know what? Good for you. Malcolm shares, yes, our beauty comes in all shades, in all caps. And our beloved Joanne shares, apparently she's comparing herself to the ideals of other people. Agreed. Being an outward pretense of someone else's opinions. Agreed. Which makes me really ask again, where are her people? Where is her family? Malcolm shares, I've had conversations with light and dark-skinned people about this topic, and there's pain on both sides. Exactly. That was what I was sharing. Exactly. Eric shares, from Lena Horne to Vanessa Williams to Lupita Nyong'o and Viola Davis. They are all talented, beautiful women. Hollywood and the media has planted the idea that white and being light-skinned is right and more marketable. This is not true. Folks do not need to feed into this. But what I think it was Malcolm who said, "Here we go. We're back to the brown paper bag test." You know, and I'll tell you, Nick, I thought. Now I know she's only one person. I know. I understand that. But it really took me immediately. My spirit felt like, okay, well, wait a minute. Is her generation? Is this where we're going? Is this what they're doing? Is this what they're thinking? Like, is this that that much of a thought? Is it that strong in their spirit that this is what they're doing? That was where I immediately went with it, because quite honestly, I thought with her generation and her age group, I thought there was more of a sense of pride as it pertained to us and our skin color. Not in today's society, in today's world, I thought there was more of a sense of pride. And again, family, I recognize and I realize she is one person, but it took me there. It made me think and wonder, is this what a lot of people, a lot of young, well, I can't even say young women, but a lot of people her age are thinking these days? I'm going to share the video one more time for those who missed it. And again, you are invited to the conversation. I want to know what you think and how you feel. Here's the video one more time.
Tell me why you started to bleach your skin.
It's like you growing up in school, you have mainly guys making fun of your skin color and calling you charcoal, calling you dark. So growing up, you just start to feel like, oh, okay, no one likes me because of my skin color. Like, okay, I see. So that kind of does something to your head, you feel me? And also we have social media. They do praise lighter skinned women, Latinas, whatever, pale skinned women. So that kind of makes you feel like you're not desired, you feel me? So, and that's why I started bleaching my skin. That's why I started skin lightening, because of it, And people that do buy my stuff, like, they do tell me that it's helping them feel more confident. And I know it's kind of sad, but it's like, that's the society we live in now.
So when people buy your stuff, can you tell your business and what it is that you sell?
I sell skin bleaching cream. Pretty controversial, I know, but I do have negative comments. People saying you hate yourself, you wish you were white, this and this and that, you're a follower, like, just a lot of stuff, but I don't really listen to it. I really don't care. I guess how society sees dark women, like we're basically the the losing team. Like, who wants to be on the losing team? I felt like lighter skinned women, they were more desired and they get away with more and they have more privileges than I did. And also, I also thought that, personally, I also thought I looked prettier lighter. And for me, I honestly I don't think it's a big deal because I feel like people want to be darker and people want to be lighter. So I don't see why it's such a taboo. I'm not ashamed of it because I kind of see the hypocrisy in it.
Family. Here we are. That was the video that I shared earlier, just a short while ago. But that's the conversation we're having right now. We're talking about color. We're talking about this poor baby, quite honestly. Again, I shared that I feel badly for her. Nick, did you happen to notice the looks on the faces of the other individuals in the room? Did you see the nods of in agreement, the males and females with her comments?
Yeah, I saw first of all, I was surprised to see that any of the guys were nodding their heads because I mean, I hear it from women, especially darker women, of course, but so rarely do you hear it from the guys. It's just it's I don't know. I mean, I'm a guy myself, right? I have a bunch of black friends. We're all different shades, right? I swear we never talk about it. So it's so interesting to see that the guys were nodding their head as well. But you had some of the darker skinned women who were nodding, some of them, not all of them. And of course, ones that are more lighter shade, they didn't move their heads or anything. I mean, they were paying attention, but it's like the opposite side of the equation. It's so interesting. And I wanted to ask you, when you're a young black woman, and you start to feel that a certain type of way about your pigmentation, your skin color. Oh, I'm too dark. I'm too light. You know, people are making fun of me because I'm real light, or people making fun of me because I'm too dark. I wanted to ask you, to where do you seek guidance on that? Who would be the person that you talk to about that, or who would the role models be for a young black child who's experiencing that? Because I can say when I had those issues for the moment that I had them, I didn't turn anybody except towards myself, and I thought to myself, well, this is the skin I have, this is how I look, and I can't change that. And so instead of trying to change that, I'll just love myself because this is who I am. And so I wanted to know, from a woman's perspective, who can you turn to and where do you turn to seek guidance on that?
Oh, I went to my mother. I went right to my mother because I was teased so much as a little girl, called white girl, and they would say Carol Ann, and because I've always the way I talk now is the way I talked as a little girl, so it wasn't any different. So I was always teased, and so my mother had darker skin. My mother was dark skinned, and the majority of everyone on my mother's side had darker skin. So my lighter complexion comes from my father's side, and I went to my mother because I was so hurt. I was teased all the time about being so light, and like I said, they would always call me white girl. And when I talked to my mother would always make me feel better about it. She would always have something that made me she would always tell me something or say something to me that made me feel better about myself. And that is why I ask, where are her people? Where are they? Because that is to whom you run. Your tribe. You go to your village. That's my own personal opinion, family. That's to whom you run. That's where you go. You go to your roots. You go to your grandmother, your mother, your father, your aunts, you go to those. But again, now, family, I don't know this young lady's life. I don't know anything about her life. I'm just sharing because all of those individuals were well within reach for me when I was her age and when I was younger. But I went to my mother. That's where I ran. I
I
ran to
mean,
my
that
mother.
that definitely that makes sense because who else would you be able to turn to, you know? And I guess with this young woman, she just it must have been coming from all directions because she talks about school, but you know, we certainly know with certain families, you got aunts and uncles that'll just say something to you, and it'll
Mhm.
stick with. And it could have just been you know, a comment out the side of their neck. They say it to everybody, but you're a kid and you go, "Well, huh?" And now you're looking in the mirror, and you know something like that might stay with you. It's one thing to hear it outside the house, but if you're getting it from inside the house or from family, you know that
No,
could be
I
a lot.
agree with that. I agree. I agree. It will stick with you. It will stay with you here from family. I was actually assaulted by classmates because of my complexion and the way I talk. Um, it was a whole thing. I'm looking at the time as I drop that. I'm looking at the time. Family, listen, it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. I'm going to go to our socials and see what you're saying in response. Stay with us because we'll be right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Love and Life.
So, Uncle Junior, you were telling us of the day of when you met. Would you mind telling us that story?
This was back in 1966. I arrived early, and I was sitting there when Mel and two of her friends walked in. She looked at me, and she smiled, and to the day, she don't know why she smiled at me. And then she came walking across the floor towards me, and I was hooked. She was stepping. And her father came in, and I could see the resemblance. So I asked him, "Do you mind if I dance with your sister?" He said, "That's not my sister. That's my daughter. Don't ask me, ask her." So I did, and we danced. And she told me, she said, "If you hold me a little closer, I can follow you better." And I was hooked already. And I asked her for her phone number. And when I went home, I wrote her a letter telling her I was going to marry her.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
History will be made this Women's History Month, and you're invited. On March 14th, tens of thousands of women will come together in one digital space for a national gathering of women, supporting women. This groundbreaking event is being organized by the Conferences for Women, the largest network of women's conferences in the country. Register now and gain access to some of the world's top women leaders and experts on career advancement, leadership, and personal development. Speakers include The Handmaid's Tale author Margaret Atwood, award-winning actor America Ferrera of Barbie, Top Chef host Kristen Kish, author and musician Michelle Zahner, Vanity Fair editor-in-chief Radhika Jones, and many more. There is power in numbers, so secure your ticket and be a part of history. Visit www.conferencesforwomen.org.
Hi, I'm Shaka Khan, and I feel for you and your health. Black Americans are at a higher risk for diabetes, but we're less likely to get the latest technology to manage this dangerous disease. It's called CGM, Continuous Glucose Monitoring. Instead of a painful finger stick to check your blood sugar, you wear a small device that can give you glucose readings at any time. If you have diabetes, find out if CGM is right for you.
In honor of Black History Month, WURD, in collaboration with First World Theater, presents Diamonds of the Diaspora, Black political figures and influencers in their own words. Edward Brooke, an alumnus of Howard University, was the first African-American elected Attorney General of any state and the first African-American popularly re-elected to the U.S. Senate, where he served 2 terms. This Republican senator was passionate about fair housing. According to the Washington Post, he sponsored the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which prohibited discrimination based on race, color, religion, or ethnicity, and later introduced the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which allowed women to obtain credit independently of their husbands. April 10th, 1968, Senator Brooks spoke these words at the B'nai B'rith Humanitarian Awards dinner.
Exactly what can be done and how soon to achieve the harmonious integration of our Negro brothers into the general social structure. In its essential respect, I believe the agenda has already been written. Discrimination in housing has denied most Negroes access to decent homes and provided slumlords with essential captive market that has driven up the prices for an inferior housing available to the Negro residents. De facto residential segregation has thrown disproportionate numbers of underprivileged and culturally deprived children into urban schools ill-equipped to educate them. Poorly motivating and lacking encouragement from their peers or parents, these children bring little to their education and take little from it. While the cycle has repeated itself countless times in the Negro ghettos of central cities, the white middle class has been gravitating to the suburbs, eroding the city's tax base at the very time the urban core is experiencing increased demand for public services. This is a cycle which distinguishes the new ghetto from the old. The old ghetto thrived on hope. The new ghetto drowns on despair.
That's a speech by Edward Brooke, performed by Anthony Cooper of First World Theater. This Black History Month, we recognize the work and the political influence of Senator Edward Brooke. This Black History Month vignette was brought to you by Comcast, the Free Library of Philadelphia, and Bristol Riverside Theater. Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I have a few things to share with you before we move forward. I know that you know that February is a month of love. Well, Word has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love Word collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote. And guess what? If you are a member, then you can get these brand new items for 50% off in our Word shop. Join or renew right now. To get the discount code via email, simply go to wordradio.com/I love Word. So you can start shopping now and show your love for your favorite radio station. Family, that's wordradio.com/ILUV. That's right. I also want to share with you that February is not just Black History Month. It's also American Heart Month. Join Word President and CEO Sarah M. Lomax for Heart to Heart, Real Talk on Cardiovascular Health, a special on-air symposium tomorrow, Wednesday, February 21st from 4 until 6 p.m. This will be an expansive discussion about all matters of the heart with medical experts who will discuss the connection between hypertension, diabetes, stroke, and heart disease. Also, how to enhance your heart health through diet, exercise, and stress reduction. The talk will also explore the emotional side of the heart, love, compassion, grief, and relationships. So tune in tomorrow, family, from 4 to 6 p.m. You do not want to miss this life-saving, life-affirming conversation. And lastly, in celebration of Black History Month, WURD, in partnership with the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, invites you to join us on Wednesday, February 21st. That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. for a special film screening of Origin, the highly acclaimed film written and directed by Academy Award and Golden Globe nominee Ava DuVernay. The film illustrates the powerful journey of author and Pulitzer Prize winner Isabel Wilkerson, based on her best-selling book, Cast: The Origins of Our Discontents. This screening will include a talkback following the film, hosted by Evening Words host James Peterson. Family, join us at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, 824 West Lancaster Avenue. That's in Bryn Mawr, Philadelphia, minutes outside of Philadelphia. As a guest of Word, you will receive a special discount price of just $10. Visit wordradio.com/origin for more information. That's ORIGIN. If you cannot make the screening, at 6 p.m. tomorrow, we will air the podcast titled Twice as Good, featuring Word President and CEO Sarah Lomax and URL Media co-founder Mitra Kalita, diving into the significance of this powerful film. So for those of you who have just joined us, we've been talking about a video that I shared where a young lady was sharing about her complexion. She said that she has created skin bleaching products, and she's created a company that sells skin bleaching products, and she herself bleaches her skin. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines because one of our family members has been waiting to join the conversation. Thank you for your patience, Gary, and thank you so much for calling.
Oh, thank you so much for taking my call. You know, and listening to that conversation, you know, first of all, I want to say our Black is beautiful. 24/7, 365. You know, because of that evil institution of slavery, we had the mixing, and we had the lighter complected and the darker complected, and that harmed us in many ways because some of our people, because they were lighter, they looked down on people that were of a darker hue, and that was a situation that we had no control over. You know, but I'll say, even in my research and reading, I've seen Africans with bright blue eyes. And the gentleman was dark as my black shoes that I have on. So we encompass all the colors in the color spectrum. We have to love ourselves and love one another. You know, we can't look at it as, well, I know in some families, young men or young women were told, don't you bring anybody in here dark. And that's sad. And that's really sad that we've been exposed to that type of treatment. You know, that young lady, she needs some she needs some therapy to get a better understanding about what's going on. You know, I love my people. I don't care whether you're light, dark, or whatever. I love my people. And we have to learn to share that love with one another. We can't allow society to turn us against one another because of the lightness or darkness of our skin or the color of our eyes. You know, our ancestors had to suffer, Carol, through so much. They had no control over. They would come and take a man's wife, and what could he do? Nothing. So we're all those same people, for real. And we're a brilliant people. If you look at the history of what we've done and what we've created and what we've brought to society. So I just pray that that young lady maybe gets some therapy to deal with her, you know, the way she feels.
I agree with that.
We're Carol, we're all the same people. I'm darker, you're lighter, whatever. That doesn't matter. We're still those same people.
And you know, it makes me ask, where are her neighbors too? Like somebody to love on this baby. Somebody.
Well, you know, if you look at the different the stereotypes that are out there, I know a lot of people who feel like that, you know, just like this young lady feels. And that's sad. It's like in some families, I mean, hey, you're the lighter hue, and I've even heard this, don't you bring no darkie in this house.
Really? You've actually heard someone say that.
Basically, okay, I'm making it just plain.
Right.
Don't bring anyone in here dark. If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, don't bring nobody like that to our house. Everybody has to be light. Me and my buddies, we talk about that, different things like that. And they've been told, certain families, they've been told that, and it's an understanding that you don't do that.
But why, Gary? Why?
Because for some, well, to be frank, we don't want anyone dark in here. We want to keep our hue light, we want to stay at that level. We don't want you bringing anybody here dark and darkening bring darkening the color in our families. It's some people, they don't go out, they don't date or marry outside that. Because like from slavery, we had slaves that were up in New England. You go further up when they were freed. It's like we're not going that way. We're staying with this lighter hue, and we don't want any darkness in here because people are ignorant to knowing who we are. I mean, I've seen a Nigerian with bright blue eyes. We every color in the color spectrum is in us.
It is.
When I saw this gentleman, he was dark, like I said, darker than my black shoes, and he had bright blue eyes. I couldn't believe it.
And his skin was beautiful, I bet. I no doubt.
I'm going to say, yes, it was. Not a blemish on his skin. He was dark, like I said, as dark could be. No blemishes on his skin and bright blue eyes.
I don't doubt that.
To know more of our history, Carolyn, who we are, so we don't allow people or images on TV or movies or whatever to make us feel inferior because we're dark.
Agreed.
Whether you're dark or light, we're the same people. I love my people. I don't care. Dark, light, whatever. But we have to know that and embrace that. Thank you, Carol, for letting me express myself.
No, Gary, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to call and for joining the conversation. It is truly appreciated. I do want to share that our beloved Ms. Lily is sending love to the entire family. Hello there, beloved. Hi, beautiful. Thank you for joining the conversation. Malcolm shares, my late mother was dark-skinned, and she said she went through this back in the 50s. Yeah. Our beloved Joanne shares, I've always had friends and many relatives of different hues. I'm wondering what she heard from her parents growing up. I wonder the same thing. Like I said, I want to know where her people are, her family, her friends, their families, the neighbor. I mean, somebody, anybody. Eric shares, I've seen YouTube videos of African and Dominican people, male and female, using bleaching products like I use cocoa butter. It's sad. Oh, he also shares she's a hypocrite based on her own words. I'd like to see a before and after picture of her. In what way? What do you mean, Eric? What do you mean? Our beloved Lily shares, she follows up sharing, obviously the young lady did not receive strong affirmations from her family and villagers that she is beautiful in her skin. And she is. She's a beautiful young woman. Miss Audrey shares, my dear mother was teased, held hostage in a girl's room, threatened that they'd cut all of her hair off. Oh, Jesus. She shares, while riding SEPTA vehicle intervened, it was very apparent young light-skinned girl was being recruited. Also obvious that the girls were going to jump me. I knew a detour route, stayed out of their path. Hopefully video of that day wasn't compromised, video editing. Young men stood up in defense of what they saw and interpreted no differently than me. I'm so sorry for that experience. So sorry for that experience. Eric shares, when I watched the incredible movie, The Feast of All Saints, I learned a lot about this topic. It shows racism, jealous, envy, love, and hate amongst our very own people. It's a tale as old as time. It really is. You know, it is. And I don't deny that. But I don't understand how we are in 2024 and it is still to that degree. I mean, I know some of you are saying, well, what you can't see racism. I do. But I also know we have a different love now. Well, not a different love. We still love us. That's what I'm saying at our core. We still love us. I don't know how this baby got here. Malcolm shares, this seems like the same issue that the rapper Little Kim went through. She was a cutie before all of that surgery and skin lightening. Yeah. Ms. Joanne shares, I just saw something online about Black China selling bleaching cream. Are you kidding me? For $250, and she supposedly went to Nigeria with it. I'm not sure if it's true. Are you what? Malcolm shares, the baseball player Sammy Sosa, he messed himself up too. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And here we are talking about Rachel Dolezal, who pretended to be Black. Ms. Joanne shares that she was in the news for something else the other day. Family, I'm going to have to look that up if I can find that. I mean, she was something else. She was in the news for something she did. What did Sammy Sosa do? I'm confused. I'm mixing apples with oranges, but because I'm sharing these facts, what did he do? Eric shares, obviously, this young lady thinks that being lighter makes her more desirable. Yet she even said that she thinks she looks better in lighter skin. He shares, I'm curious what she looked like before her transformation. Mm, 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 mm. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. Welcome to Love and Life. Welcome to the conversation. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. In this moment, we are talking about a video that I shared, a video clip that I shared of a young woman who shares about her complexion. She shares that she bleaches her skin. She's been bleaching her skin, and that she created a company that sells skin bleaching products. And it hurt my heart. It really did to see it. But just to hear her and to see those that were sitting around her in agreement. It wasn't just her, the males and the females. They were all in agreement. It just, I think I'm amazed, and you see that I can barely get my thoughts out about this, because again, like I said, I thought that in her age group, I didn't realize it was to that degree. And Nick, you said, look, we don't have these conversations. Isn't that what you shared?
Yeah, I was saying, speaking from a Black male perspective, I got a bunch of Black male friends, and maybe it's because we're all about around the same shade. We I mean, I just cannot remember a time where we've really talked about it. We've talked about it as it pertains to women that you're interested in, but never in like what someone else's experiences have been. I think one of my friends, he's a little bit darker than everybody else. And I can't think of a time where he was ever like, oh yeah, I felt this kind of way about my skin, or maybe somebody didn't approach me or didn't want to go out with me because of how dark I was. But I mean, obviously, just as the women deal with it, the men deal with it. And I'm really not sure how so that they deal with it. That's something I need to find more information about, because even though we're all men, we're not a monolith. We don't all respond to it in the same way. I mean, I'm sure there's certainly guys out there that are using some of the skin bleaching products. And when you first brought up the topic, I thought, well, this is probably going to be a Caribbean woman or something like that, because that's what I've seen whenever I've even heard about skin bleaching. I've heard it a lot from Caribbean or Jamaican women and men who've been using the products because they kind of prefer the lighter skin, or at least that's how I understood it. But the idea that it's going on here, here in the U.S., and that it might become a more widespread issue is that's a very scary thought, because we have to understand that our skin is beautiful, and though you can technically change it, when you have children with somebody, your children are still going to have your features. There's people out there that get plastic surgery. They go, oh, I don't like the size of my nose. I wish my lips were a little bit bigger. When you have a child, your children are going to have those exact same features as you. And now it's going to be up to you to go, do I love this or do I not love this? And I mean, how could you not love your child, right? Because of their features. But there's twisted people out there that's the way they look at it. And so it's just such a big, it's such a big industry, and it's probably going to get bigger, unfortunately. But I think the best way to work around that is to definitely preach more self-love. But that it's going to be difficult for the kids out there who don't have that sort of love and healthy relationships that you had when you were growing up, right, with your mother. Because if they don't have anybody to turn to, then they turn to whoever they think is going to be able to help them, or whatever they think the solution is, which is it'll be a product or something like that, something that they'll go to rely on. And that's not the way to do it. It's not the way to love yourself.
Wait, How about I just looked up Sammy Sosa? Nick, have you seen Sammy Sosa?
You know what? I've heard the name before. I think I know exactly
Oh,
what he looks. I need to double
good.
check. I just need to double check.
OMG. And I thought he was an attractive man. This oh my goodness, I'm at a loss for words. Heavens to Murgatroyd. No. Oh, no, just no. That's going to be a hard no, a negative no. Well, thank you, Malcolm, for sharing that. He bleached his skin. And it is not flattering at all. It is not flattering at all. You know what? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? See, I need to get this tongue together, get my mouth together. In any event, it caught me off guard. It really caught me off guard. What I will share is that one of our family members, Ozias Johnson, shares, I love me a sun-kissed soul sister. I love that. I love that. Thank you. Malcolm shares, he's dark-skinned himself and he's never had a problem. Yeah, I Harry, Harry is Harry says, say it, Carol. A hot mess. First of all, I did not know that Sammy Sosa had bleached his skin, so it just caught me off guard when I looked at the photo. All I did was type his name in, and the line finished for me, bleached skin. So when I clicked on the link, his photo popped up. The before and after photo popped up. I wasn't ready for that. I just really wasn't ready for that. I really wasn't. But I mean, hey, this is what's happening. This is what people make choices. People make choices. Gary is sharing about my reaction. Oh, y'all, I'm so mad that y'all. I said it before I even thought. I said, oh, Lord. Anyway, family, it's time for us to take a short commercial break. That's a good thing. Give me a chance to regroup. Stay with us, family, because we are coming right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
A lot of us are using fitness trackers to help us stay in shape, get better sleep, drink more water, and live a healthier lifestyle. But do you know how vulnerable your personal health information might be? Take a look at the privacy policy for your device to understand what data the company is collecting and what they're allowed to do with that data. Head to the device settings to turn off or restrict any data collection that you don't feel is necessary. Limit location tracking so that others won't be able to pinpoint exactly where you are at any given time. And of course, make sure you have a strong password and two-factor authentication set up as well. It's cool to use the latest technology to get fit, just make sure you're staying protected too. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. OMG. Okay, y'all caught me. Y'all caught me before the commercial break. I was talking about Sammy Sosa, to be exact. But you all caught me. I was so caught off guard because Malcolm shared with me that Sammy Sosa bleached his skin. I was able to find a photo, a before and after photo. I'm sorry to say that I I really feel badly that he felt it necessary to do this to himself. I thought he was such a handsome man. So this is the photo. That's the before and after photo. And then I even saw one photo where he had on colored contacts. But for those of you who are watching, there is the photo, the before and after photo of Sammy Sosa. Y'all, I think that's sad. It's sad. But we've been talking about a video that I shared. There's a young lady that has been bleaching her skin, and she created a company that sells skin bleaching products. And Malcolm brought it to my attention that Sammy Sosa did the same. And now I'm still sitting here in shock. I'm still. Oh, Ozias shares. That's why Brother James declares, say it loud. And he shares, y'all know the rest. Y'all know the rest. Our beloved Joanne shares, Sammy Sosa's wife is Dominican, but her maiden name was Bright. And she thought that was funny. Y'all know what? You know what? Y'all supposed to be helping me with the shenanigans. Y'all supposed to be helping me to stop the shenanigans. And Eric shares that, oh, no. Eric shares, I know your blood pressure shot to 1,000. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. My cousin, hey, cuz, Sherry Riddick out of Atlanta shares, I had to get my laptop to comment. Oh, my. She shares, I assume that the young lady on the video apparently was not educated about Black history, and they want to take it out of the schools. How about that? However, I am looking again on Netflix, which is narrated. I'm looking again on Netflix, which is narrated by Will Smith. It's about the 14th Amendment that was passed for Black folks to become citizens in America. This is more important about skin color. We are still fighting for our rights. We need to teach our children about our history. You are so right. You are so right. And the other comment that you made about them wanting to take Black history, about history, period, okay, out of the schools. Not to mention specifically as it pertains to Black history, but history. We are all over history. But Black history, they want to remove Black history, the education, Black history education from our schools as well. So I wish I could just hug this baby. Oh, I really wish I could. But for those of you who just joined us, welcome. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. And we're talking about color. We're talking about racism. We just talked about a lot. OMG. Malcolm, I think that was a gut punch to me, Sammy Sosa, because like I said, I had no idea. And I thought he was such an attractive man. But now he's unrecognizable to me. Okay. So in these moments, oh my goodness. Eric shares that Sammy Sosa resembles the man from the movie Powder. Honestly, he destroyed his legacy and his face. Well, here you go. Here you go. So let me ask you this, family. So we were talking about color and we're talking about this young lady specifically. Do you think there's still hope for her? Do you think, or do you believe, or do you feel that there's a chance for her to actually, gain some pride? Or because this is a lack of a lot. But do you think there's hope? Gary shares, we are world history, and they don't want us to know. No, they don't. They don't. All right, what we're going to do, family, we're going to pivot because I think we are. I think when I showed you the picture of Sammy, I think you were all saying, "Okay, Carol, that's enough. That's enough. That is enough." So, what we're going to do, I'm going to welcome to our conversation, our one and only. What we typically do on Tuesday nights is we talk with Chris Murray, and as we know, y'all know I look forward to the conversation with Chris. So, I'm going to. Welcome, Chris Murray, to the conversation. For those of you who are unaware, Chris Murray is a radio personality. He's a journalist, a college professor with more than 30 years of experience. He's covered the Super Bowl, World Series, the NCAA tournament, the NBA playoffs, and World Championship boxing, as well as other sporting events. That's just a few. Currently, he hosts his own sports show right here, Saturdays, the Chris Murray Report. And as our resident sports guru, I call him the sports oracle, he's agreed to visit with us, with the Love and Life family, to share his wisdom and his perspectives on the aspects of the sports world. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Chris Murray.
How you doing today? Sorry, I had mom duty today, so
listen. You don't ever have to apologize. First of all, let me say that you don't ever have to apologize, Chris. Before we pivot to this conversation, I want to. I didn't realize one of our family members was waiting to join the conversation, so I'm going to go to the phone lines really quickly to talk with one of our family members. Hi there, and thank you so much for calling.
Oh, it looks like we just lost Sharon.
We lost Sharon. Okay, Sharon, if you're listening, you're welcome to call back. Please do so. We were talking about color. I shared a video with our family members about a young lady, beautiful young lady, who shares that she started a company that sells skin bleaching products and that she herself bleaches her skin. I know. She's a beautiful young lady. But then Malcolm shared with me that Sammy Sosa bleached his skin. I had no idea. Did you know
that? Yeah.
Of course you did. Wait, who am I talking with? Of course you knew that.
Yeah,
of course you knew that. I did not know.
Yeah.
I thought he's unrecognizable.
He is. He looked. It's almost like when I look at old pictures of Michael Jackson and when he was younger and whatnot. He was a good-looking guy. Off the Wall album, good-looking guy.
How about that?
And then it's just, I don't get people bleaching their skin. I don't get it, and that's mainly because maybe I've been around people who who always told me that black was beautiful, and I don't get bleaching of the skin and all that. I wish I was a few shades darker for all it's worth. And
I know that's right, Chris. I know that's right.
I was a few shades darker. I don't know. As I evolved over time, I when it comes to say the sisters, I appreciate black women of all colors. And it's just, black women are beautiful. And no matter the shade, it doesn't. I don't get the people who want to bleach their skin and all that. I really don't get that. And I just think that we have been brainwashed into thinking into hating ourselves, and that's that bothers me. That bothers me to no end. And I'm not saying that through my studies at Temple University, Afrocentrism and all that, but I'm just saying that's always bothered me about us. Why do we hate what God has given us? I mean, why do the original people hate the original skin that God gave them? That's in my line, in my way of thinking. And so, and I see it, like I said, I saw it, Sammy Sosa, and I don't know, man. That saddens me. That's all I can say. It saddens me to no end.
And that was what I was sharing. I said, I'm so hurt for this baby. I'm hurt and saddened. When I showed the video, I was sitting and the other young people that were seated in the room with her, they were in agreement. they were agreeing with her comments. They were agreeing with what she said. And that just, I mean, oh my goodness, here we are in 2024. And for her to feel as strongly as she does, that really, really hurts. That really, really hurts. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. The man, the myth, the legend has just joined the conversation, the one and only Chris Murray. Oh, Chris, look at this. Harry shares, I really hope he's going to talk about his new book. How about that, Chris?
I am going to talk about my new book. I am going to talk about First Draft, a collection of stories chronicling race, sports, and social justice. And the inspiration for the book really was two things. One was Bill Rhoden's $40 million Slaves, and one was the spring of 2016 when I was teaching at Temple University, teaching sports and leisure in American society, and out of the African American Studies department. And I wanted to gather up articles that I had written, because I'd written something. I had written something on the 1968 Olympic team that won the gold, that dominated track and field, but included guys like Tommy Smith and John Carlos. And it talked about the Olympic Project for Human Rights. And I interviewed some of the guys like Mel Pinder and some of the guys that were on that team that basically were trying to figure out whether or not they were going to protest, or what type of protest they were going to do at the Olympics. And then I started finding all these articles that I wrote for the Philadelphia Tribune. And then I was looking up stuff that I did for the Griot.com on social justice. And we were talking about Adrian Peterson. We were talking, and then too, I've been following the Colin Kaepernick thing for a little while. That was actually before Colin Kaepernick. And I was finding out, I was like, man, I need to put this stuff together, because people need to see the stories, that I've written there. And I just, as I was going through it, I've written a lot of stories about, African Americans, breaking barriers as quarterbacks. I've written a story about a guy named John Amichu who played in the NBA. He was like one of the few he was the only gay player who came out and whatnot in the NBA. And I also wrote a whole bunch of stories and like I said, then all the stuff I was writing about, Ferguson and all that, when I would say back in 2015, the quarterback from Ohio State was a guy named Cardale Jones, and he wrote a tweet. He said something, well, if Black lives really, no, he said if all lives mattered, why is it that Black people are the only ones that are getting killed? And some Ohio State fan responded to his tweet and said, basically, you don't need to be getting into this stuff, and what you need to concentrate on winning us another national championship, because this guy won the national championship for Ohio State. And so, and it was one of the classic comebacks I've ever seen on Twitter. Cardale Jones says, "Oh, I sorry for coming out with these things." And so I wrote a column basically saying, stop telling athletes to shut up and just play. And I also wrote a story about when the Rams were in St. Louis, some of the Rams players came out with hands up, don't shoot. So I started writing all these stories. I wrote about Monet Davis, and I was writing about all these things these things were happening in the 21st century. This was before, and all due respect to them, people like, although I think Jamel Hill was talking about, but before all those people got on ESPN and all this other stuff. And me and a couple of other writers on one of the guys who has a couple of articles in it, my friend Ron Glover, and I would like to, next time I come on, I'd like to, maybe include him as a part of the show. We have been talking about these things for a long time. And so I decided to just pull all the stories that I wrote about racism, about bigotry and even the whole homophobia, women's athletics, how sometimes women's athletics get pushed to the side. So I basically said, let me pull all this stuff together. And around 2020, I actually started pulling it together around 2018, 2019. But when all the George Floyd stuff came down and all the stuff with Colin Kaepernick, I started just writing. I mean, I just started writing stuff for the Sun, Philadelphia Sunday Sun, and the book got bigger and bigger.
Right.
And I was pulling up stuff that I did on Ryan Howard, because the last chapter of the book talks about Philadelphia. And I tried to give a balanced view of why Black fans weren't unhappy with the Phillies, but I had to kind of include, the Ryan Howard years, because Ryan Howard and Jimmy Rollins becoming popular, kind of brought some. And Dick Allen told me this, because I interviewed Dick Allen, when I wrote some of those stories back in the day for the Tribune. So, long story short, this book covers all the columns I wrote about Colin Kaepernick, that whole situation, and how that story evolved. It talked about I talked about Muhammad Ali and his contributions and the Smith and Carlos thing, because I had interviewed both Tommy Smith and John Carlos for stories. And so these are just columns chronicling. And one of the things, I came up with the title of the book from my department chair at Bowie State. His name is Hope Glover, but we all call him Brother Yao. And Brother Yao basically said, look, man, because I told him that one of the things I said, that journalists, we write the first draft of history. So basically,
wait, Chris, I've got to interrupt you for just a moment. Family, listen, we're going to take just a short commercial break. But when we come back, Chris is going to tell us the name of his book and where we can get it. And he's going to finish his story. So stay with us, because we are coming right back.
How much for the bouquet of flowers?
They are $6.99. Great choice.
Thanks.
For someone special?
Something like that.
Well, if you really want to make a good impression, why not throw in some lottery tickets? Add some scratch-offs to the bouquet.
Okay.
Sure. You give your loved one a chance to win money. If they win, they might even share it with you.
Never even thought of that. You know what? Let me get a few of those scratch-offs for the bouquet.
Smart man. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Keep on scratching.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Problem gambling? Helpline 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Want the latest in word swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. It's the shop tab on wordradio.com. You can look good and show the world that you're all about Black Talk Media.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Chris Murray. You know, we get our sports update on Tuesdays in this hour, and right now we're talking about Chris's book. Yes, we are. We're talking about Chris's book, and it is titled. What is it titled? First Draft: A Collection.
A collection of stories chronicling race, sports, and social justice in the 21st century.
First Draft, a collection of stories chronicling racism, sports, and social justice in the 21st century. I love that. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to share this information. So the link that you shared with me, Chris.
Yes.
That's the actual link to.
That's the actual link to the to the book. You can also, if you friend me on my Facebook page, you can find the link pinned to my Facebook page. I also have it on LinkedIn. If you look up Chris Murray on LinkedIn and all that, that's where I am. And I'm trying to come up with and like I said again, right now I'm in the process of trying to put together a kind of a book signing because I want to get stuff out, but I gotta work some things out with my publisher. And once we do that, I'm going to go on the unofficial book tour. But I'm going to sell this book in a sense that a lot of the things that we cover, like we talked about, one of the articles in the book is Stop Telling Athletes to Shut Up and Play. This is the Cardell Jones thing I'm telling you about. And this is, and like I said, I'll kind of read this. Jones tweeted, if all lives matter, why is it the only ones getting beaten, killed, and getting killed when unarmed? Mysteriously, why is it, mysteriously dying in custody? You tell me that all lives matter. Well, all I say is, how do you define all? And Ohio State fan responded with, worry about getting us another national championship. Stay out of this bull bleed. Jones shot back with a tweet, steeped in sarcasm. Sorry, massa. I ain't allowed to tweet nothing but football stuff. I don't want you to think I'm more than a football player, sir. And he said it with the deepest of sarcasm, and he did it in this kind of a stereotypical language. And and it's almost like this article goes on to talk about how there are a lot when African American athletes complain, they're not allowed to complain and all that. And I kind of talk about people, and I said at the end of the article, because I kind of related to people who in the workaday world, to see people complain that athletes speak out of stuff. And I'll just read this part. It says, were it not for people like Walter P. Reuther, United Auto Workers, A. Philip Randolph, Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, and Cesar Chavez, United Farm Workers, people who refuse to just shut up and work and rock the boat instead, that 40-hour work week with that living wage, that paid sick and vacation days, and the healthcare plan that so many of you union workers would enjoy would not exist. When so many union workers have would not exist if people did not speak out. And that was the thing that when I basically, when I wrote this was the thing in mind, because a lot of people like coming out against Black athletes who speak out. And it's the same thing. I also wrote in the first, like I said, the first chapter, really, I kind of set the tone in the introduction, and I set the tone, talking about a kind of an overview of Black athletes speaking out back to the days of Jack Johnson, where Jack Johnson's mere presence in the ring was an affront to white Americans. And he was bling bling before anybody, before P. Diddy and them came up with that term. And so the mere presence. And then in the introduction, I'm talking about when Joe Louis came along, they fashioned Joe Louis's image. They said, look, you're not going to take pictures of white women. with white women. You're not going to lord over your fallen white opponent when you knock him into next week. And so, and then, and I kind of started that the person who really kind of started this whole thing where you know, where if a black athlete speaks out about anything, he gets told to be quiet, was oddly enough Jackie Robinson, because Jackie being the first baseball player, right? Jackie Robinson, for his first 3 years in the league in baseball, he kept quiet. I mean, he had to keep quiet. But then Branch Rickey basically said, look, okay, you can speak up now. Now we got more brothers into the league, you can speak out. And this is a quote that, you know, that I got from Rachel Robinson when I was writing this introduction. And she says, early on, they liked Jack because he was being a good boy and he was doing what they thought he should do, and he was keeping his mouth shut. And the minute he tried to defend himself, they would call him uppity. They would call him a loudmouth to discredit him, said his wife, Rachel Robinson, in Ken Burns' documentary, Jackie Robinson. The Sporting News called him a chronic griper because of his willingness to be assertive and speak out on race. Still others said he was ungrateful. So he was the guy that said, look, I'm going to speak out. And I talked about Roten's book in the sense that Roten, who wrote $40 Million Slaves, said that he was disappointed with athletes up to that point because they weren't speaking out. Well, between 2014 up until about 2020, I think maybe the highlight of that was the George Floyd uprising. You know, athletes spoke out. LeBron James and Kobe Bryant spoke out on Martin. And then when the whole Ferguson thing happened, the Rams demonstrated. And as a matter of fact, in one of the stories I wrote, I was kind of praising the Rams. I also quoted the St. Louis guest chapter of the Fraternal Order of Police, who tried to urge the NFL to suspend these guys. And basically, I was just saying, to me, that's a bully mentality, because one of the things that bullies do is that when you speak out, when you stand up and fight for yourself, they don't want you to fight them back. And so these are just a bunch of stories, bunch of columns that I wrote about. I think one of the more contemporary ones, this came out in 2020, the Philadelphia Sunday Sun. I basically talked about when after the shooting of Jacob Blake and whatnot, there was a walkout by several. There was a walkout in 2020 that teams around, and I think led by Giannis Antetokounmpo and all that, and some other. They basically said, that they were going to walk out and everything, and it was kind of
wow.
And they did, and they actually did. A lot of teams didn't play. It's like 7 teams. I think the Colts, Tennessee Titans, some others. Basically, they refused to practice, and they didn't go to practice.
Chris, this sounds like an extraordinary read. Now, listen, I'm going to beat you with the wet noodle because it took you so long to break it down for us. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Listen, all of our family, look at this. Lynn, hi there, beautiful. Lynn DeShield shares, I'm getting that book, Chris. This sounds like a great read. Exactly. Okay. Harry shares, this is another great show. Another great show, word family. Love that. And Malcolm shares, I need to get this book. We all do. Chris, okay, look, you know how to do after school. Beat you with a wet noodle, but family, I do want you to know, I did post the link. I finally posted the direct link. First Draft, a collection of stories chronicling racism, sports, and social justice in the 21st century, is the book title of Chris Murray's book, our own beloved. My cousin Rose, hi there, Rose. Oh, I didn't see your comment. Rose, I'm going to have to look back, but this is a conversation that I hope we continue, family. I'm running out of time. So We're going to have to continue this conversation about color and about racism on another day, but I just want you to know that I'm so grateful to you all for joining the conversation. Family, praise God. Praise God, praise God, praise God, from whom all blessings flow as we wrap tonight's episode. Chris, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know we love you and your company, and we're looking forward to your return so we can talk. I want to hear all about All-Star Weekend. I know it'll be a late conversation, but it'll be a good one nonetheless. Family, happy birthday to our love bugs that are celebrating once again, to the entire Word family. I love you. I love you. I love you. Especially Niall and Nick. Thank you, Nick, for joining the conversation. Thank you, family, to our callers and those of you that join the conversation via socials. Thank you. Family, remember, we're all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. God loves you, and so do I. Have a great rest of your night, family, and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a great night, family. Thank you. Love you.